this wonderful sport is based on respect on and off the pitch by showing respect for the team, referee, and your fellow spectators. We make football a better game for everyone. We remind you that there is no place for racism, but only for friendship. Any no smoking policies in operation at the UEFA Friendship Cup 2025. Any person using tobacco or e-cigarette products inside the stadium wall will be asked to stop immediately. Thank you for respecting the no smoking policy game and enjoy the game. Le football nous a tous rapprochés. Ce merveilleux sport est basé sur le respect sur et en dehors du terrain. Faisons preuve de respect à l'égard des équipes, de l'arbitre et des autres spectateurs, nous faisons du football un jeu meilleur pour tous. Nous vous rappelons qu'il n'y a pas de place pour le racisme, mais seulement donc pour l'amitié. Une politique d'interdiction de fumer s'applique également au tournoi de la UEFA Friendship Cup 2025. Toute personne utilisant du tabac ou des produits de cigarette à l'intérieur du stade sera priée d'arrêter immédiatement. Merci de respecter la politique anti-tabac et profitez du match. welcome teams of France and Japan. Veuillez accueillir les équipes de France et du Japon.
Welcome back to the Colivray Sports Centre in Nyon, where we've reached the final day of competition in the 2025 UEFA Friendship Cup. Podium places will be determined this afternoon, starting with the 3rd-4th place playoff. France and Japan will contest the bronze medal match here today, and it's certain to be a competitive one. Both nations unbeaten inside 90 minutes in this year's Friendship Cup so far. Before play commences, we will hear both national anthems.
Please remain standing for the national anthem of France. Veuillez rester debout pour l'hymne national de la France.
A podium place at stake then for France and Japan. As the 2025 UEFA Friendship Cup slowly but surely draws to a conclusion. It has been another very successful tournament, and all of the young players involved have learned plenty on and off the pitch. France have rotated their ranks today. Duamo back in goal, one of 6 changes. Messi, Tanfouri, Canabiak and Baraji are also in the 11 in attacking roles. Japan have made even more changes, 8 in all. Toshiya Matsuoka, Haruto Nakano and Chito Oishi are the only players to stay in their starting 11 today. Now referee today, Marian Durmic. It was always hoped that this tournament would create an environment where players learn from one another and forge new friendships via football. The group photo at the beginning of every game, a very nice touch. And there will be another coming together at the end of today as well, following the final match later on today. All of the players will join together for something of a celebration. France drew 1-1 with Argentina on Saturday, but lost the penalty shootout. However, the point they got from that draw edged out Argentina 5 points to 4 in the Group A table. Japan, meanwhile, drew 1-1 with Portugal on match day 1 before winning the shootout. They lost to Senegal on match day 2 on penalty kicks, but their victory, comfortable victory against Uruguay at the weekend, ensured that they will play for the bronze here today. France will get us underway today. The French lads perhaps looking to emulate the senior national team who we saw clinch 3rd place in the recent UEFA Nations League playoff. Kylian Mbappe and Michael Olise on target for the French. Both men played youth team football for France themselves. Olise with the under-18s. Mbappe was so good that he skipped that level, going from under-17s to under-19s and into the national team while still a teenager. That's the dream for all of these players out there today. First and foremost, it's about getting on the podium alongside Portugal and the USA, who will contest the gold and silver medals later on today. France against Japan here for 3rd place. Japan in their changed colours of white, and forcing the first save of the game, Shuto Oishi with a long-range effort. But Isaac Douamo of France well positioned to keep hold of it. Front-footed start by the Japanese. It's Sasaki's cross. Douamo once again called into action. Busy opening minute for the French goalkeeper. It's been a feature of Japanese matches, or the Japanese game plan in matches, that they do start very, very aggressively on the front foot. And it's France's turn to experience that particular strategy right now. They absolutely battered Uruguay on match day 3, Japan, but had to be very patient to eventually run up a 4-goal advantage. Uruguay pulled one back before the end, but it really was a very comprehensive victory by the Japanese. That saw them overtake Senegal in the table somewhat unexpectedly, who lost to Portugal, taking them into the final. Douamo's clearance. And France yet to really get hold of the ball. Japan once again back into possession quickly. Looked like a late challenge there, and it will be a free kick to France. Painful one for Messi Tanfouri, I think. Duamo spreading one out. Offside against Adama Baraji. France have lost both of the penalty shootouts they've faced so far, also losing to the USA. But of course that does also equate to 3 matches unbeaten. They drew 2-2 with the Americans and also beat Australia 3-0. Sissoko is taking some stopping here. And it will be a French corner. Very powerful running from Mustafa Sissoko. Came a long way from his fullback position. And he will stay forward for the corner. Taken quickly by the French. Sally. Safety first once again. Dumbuya. Given away. A little bit sloppy there, and it could lead to a chance for Nakayama. That's just the sort of situation that the Japanese are so adept at taking advantage of. We saw it time and time again in the Uruguay game at the weekend. The South Americans often ceding possession of the ball in dangerous areas, and Japan often had the speed off the mark and the skill to take advantage of those situations. Here they come again. Duamo continues to be one of the busier men on the pitch in the opening 5 minutes here. Axel Dodot. Jamali, finding Cabral. Trying to get their passing game going, France, but as you can see, the Japanese operating a very high press and forcing the long passes like that one, which they are so often picking up for themselves, the Japanese. Duedato under pressure. His pass very nearly intercepted. Hard work at the moment for the French. Shinkawa. A lot of room out there at the moment. But free kick eventually given. Dodot. A wayward pass that time from Shinkawa. Of all of the sides that we have seen here in Nyon in the last week or so, Japan do look to be among the very best in terms of the organisation and technical ability that they show on the ball. I think there'll be an element of disappointment that they are not playing for the gold medal today. It really was a capitulation against Senegal on match day 2 that cost them. 3-1 up going into the second half. And they couldn't hold on to that lead. Eventually they lost to the Senegalese in the shootout. And they have held on for a win, and they would indeed have been in the gold medal match. Here's Shun Shinkawa. Nakayama trying to turn Shinkawa. Oishi would have been offside had he have tried to play at that one. Only 8 minutes gone here, but already Japan are starting to show what they can do. France finding it very difficult to play their way out of their own half at the moment. Koulibaly coming the wrong way, under huge pressure. desperate not to give it away, and he hasn't. Well, in the end, he won the throw, which in the end was a good piece of battling on his part. Joel Koulibaly found himself running down a bit of a one-way street and into a dead end. But France got the free kick out of it in the end rather than a throw. Cabral. Dudut. Sissoko. Farangi just up ahead of him. Cabral playing at the base of the French midfield. That'll be of vital importance as they try to turn defence into attack. Not easy under this relentless Japanese pressure. Shinkawa. Yamamoto back to Sasaki. Just a throw. Japan doing all of the attacking here in the opening 10 minutes. Shinkawa, heavy touch from him. Nevertheless, encouraging signs for the Japanese in the early stages here. Gasiguchi kept at arm's length by El Jamali. Sally. Matsuoka having to stay strong, and he did just that. Goal kicked to Japan. France now trying to operate something of a press of their own here. Let's see if the Japanese get a dose of their own medicine. Nakano finding Sasaki. Nakayama going for the goal line and winning the corner. Oh no, goal kick was the eventual decision. Nevertheless, the relative ease with which Japan played their way from one penalty area to the other there, in marked contrast to the difficulties that France have been having, trying to do similar. Koulibaly falls backwards once again. Cabral back to Koulibaly. Short pass that time from the skipper. You can see that Japan are just sort of lying in wait, hopeful of a misplaced pass or two by the French, which will trigger the counter-attack. Koulibaly. attacking role for the first time today. And now it's Adama Baraji for the French. Good defending by Yakamoto. Sissoko's throw. Canabiek furthest forward. It's Pepe Cabral. First real side of goal for the French, but Amato Noguchi Pinto in goal was never worried. Japan didn't like that challenge from Dumbuya, but play continues. Mesitan Furi. Sali. France seem to be growing in confidence here and probably have edged the possession in the opening 15 minutes or so. Even if Japan have looked the more incisive of the two teams. Koulibaly. There's a bit of room here for Sissoko, who gets forward well from fullback. Now Baraji. Plenty of blue shirts waiting for a cross. El Jamali. He was asking a lot of Ilyas Sali with that pass. Sissoko. France have a pretty active under-18 side. This is their 12th official match in the last 10 months or so. There haven't been too many wins though, not inside 90 minutes, just the one that they got in Group A against Australia. Sasaki. A little bit awkward that for his goalkeeper. Shima. This is where they're so good, Japan. It's that first touch, first time passing. And look, immediately on there, on the edge of the French box. It really is an object lesson in how to play the game, simply but effectively. Problems for Duamo in goal, but eventually he was having the ball wrestled from him somewhat illegally. Free kick to France. Dodot. To goalkeeper Duamo, who's seen as much of the ball as anyone out there so far. Now there's a chance for Mesitan Furi. Immediately had the door shut in his face there. Cabral. Mesitan Furi again. Couldn't quite keep it in play. Made a great start to the tournament. Rayan Mesitan Furi scored twice against the USA on match day 1. He's affiliated with Strasbourg. Now Oishi putting the pressure on and creating real problems for Axel Dodot, who just about did enough. Oishi, as well as demonstrating great movement, he's very strong as well. Dumbuya finding Cabral. Skipper has to go backwards again. That Japanese press continues to do its job. France just keep getting themselves trapped in these blind alleys. They find themselves in positions of the pitch where they simply do not want to be, and with no exit route. Nakayama to Shiwa, and Shinkawa with the final shot. If there has been a shortcoming to the Japanese game plan, it has been that they've perhaps been a little more wasteful than they should be in terms of goal scoring chances. They haven't had any clear-cut ones here today. Nevertheless, it is in the final third that they could probably do with sharpening up. All the approach work is excellent. Dumbuya. Well taken by El Jamali. Did well there. And now Barashi's got his man isolated. Two in the middle. Barashi's cross is deep. And it's an own goal, I think, in the end. Joel Koulibaly was arriving for France. He leads the celebrations. Whether he will be credited with the goal, the midfielder, I'm not too sure, but one thing's for sure, France lead here with 21 minutes on the clock. Oh, that goal coming very much against the run of play. Well, it seems we're going to proceed straight to a refreshments break here. Now, Koulibaly has been credited with the goal. I think it certainly would have been a little bit harsh to call it an own goal. There was an effort to get it off the goal line. Ended up in the roof of the net, but it was the shot from Joel Koulibaly that made it possible. It really was the best moment that France have had in the first half. It all stemmed from a wonderful piece of ball carrying deep in the midfield by Nadir El Jamali. You may recall that he took the ball under pressure, turned beautifully, and left three Japanese players in his wake. That's what led to the space for Barashi's cross. And indeed the finish from Koulibaly. No delight for the French. Japan will be very disappointed with that. Being that they had pretty much dominated up to that point. And as we go into the latter part of the second half now, Japan know they've got to shift up a gear or two if they want to get their hands on a bronze medal, that is. Shinkawa dispossessed. France full of confidence now. El Jamali finding Barashi, same combination that led to the goal. Something we have seen in this tournament is just how much goals have affected games. All very young players out there, of course, and it's been very visible, the effect on confidence, both positively and negatively, that goals have had in matches. All of a sudden, France in the ascendancy here, and committing as many players forward as at any point in the game so far. Sally out to Koulibaly. Cabral. Good work from Koulibaly. Sally in support here. Koulibaly very adept at riding those challenges, but ran out of space this time. El Jamali, who also got the assist at the weekend for France's goal against Argentina. But problems here for the French. And that really should have been an equalising goal from Shuto Oishi. The French got themselves in terrible trouble at the back. Not for the first time in this tournament. The Japanese couldn't take a golden opportunity. We were saying, weren't we, a little while ago, if there is a weakness in this Japanese squad, it is in front of goal, and I think we probably just saw it there. Dodot. Sissoko. Barashi to his right. Sissoko went alone, and it was not one of his better crosses. Nevertheless, France have really come into their own since that goal. Hardly threatened at all prior to it. Sasaki, back to Shima. Nakano, whose attempt it was to get it away from goal when Koulibaly's shot ended up into the back of the net. Duamo. Growing in confidence with the ball at his feet, it seems. Like France, Japan have a very active under-18s side, more so than many other nations at this tournament. Like the French, their actual results at under-18 level have not been all that encouraging. Not too many wins in the last 12 months or so. But here's Shinkawa for Japan. Shima. Sasaki and Nakayama exchanging passes. Sasaki's cross. And scooped up over his own crossbar by captain Pap Cabral. Japanese corner coming up. So far the game has been every bit as competitive as we were expecting. Japan with the set-piece opportunity. Shinkawa making moves on the edge of the box. It was driven into the near post area in the end by Nakayama. And goal kick was the outcome, to the dissatisfaction of one or two of the Japanese players. Nakano's header. Now the race is on here, and Duamo missed it completely. Fortunately for him, he was being helped out by Dodot. You do get the sense that there are mistakes in this French defence waiting to happen. We've seen one or two of them already. And with the way that France are able to press their opponents, there's every chance that the side of Yuzo Funakashi can fight their way back into this one. For the moment, there will be a spot of attention to goalkeeper Duamo. May have just landed awkwardly as he took that air shot. He and his fellow goalkeeper Ayub Akabu have started 2 games apiece. Of course, the idea is to give every player in the squad equal game time. Certainly it has become clear over the course of the tournament which of the players are perhaps more important than others, let's say. Isaac Duamo back in action. "15 minutes left in normal time at the end of this first half as Sasaki's throw finds its way to Oishi. Couldn't hang on to it that time. Sasaki again. The break could be on for France here. Barashi showing good pace, getting away from Shima. Adama Barashi, it's saved, and 2 excellent saves by Noguchi Pinto to keep the scoreline at 1. Adama Barashi denied on both occasions. Great incisive play that from the French. He was still on the attack here with Sissoko, finding Barashi. No way through for him that time. Koulibaly, very strong on the ball, isn't he? Sali. As he turned Furi, playing the 1-2 with him. Fullback couldn't quite get there and was then caught by his opponent. French free kick. Oh, how important could that double save by Amato Noguchi Pinto be for Japan? Sali. El Jamali. A little ambitious, that one. Shima. Shun Shinkawa Caught by Sissoko's challenge. Cabral with the interception this time for France. Matsuoka. Higashiguchi, who hasn't seen that much of the ball in the first half. Koulibaly's clearance. Japan are just starting to show signs of growing back into things here. I think the goal hit them hard. They're starting to display their mastery of possession again after what was a good 10-minute spell by the French after their goal. And it's opening up here for El Jamali. Better pass and France might have been in. Higashiguchi. And again, Sasaki. A little over 10 minutes left in normal time at the end of this first half. As Matsuoka gains some ground down the right-hand side. That'll be a free kick to France. Koulibaly caught. And Shion Nakayama extends the hand of apology. We'll need some treatment for that. Koulibaly, I should think. These two nations did play each other at under 18 level as recently as September 2023. France won that day 2-0 in a friendly international. And as half-time approaches here, the scoreline favours them here too. Still 1-0, Koulibaly with the goal. Sissoko looking for options ahead of the throw. Dodot. France still in possession, but again, playing a dangerous game on the edge of their own box there. No harm done in the end. It's Ilyas Sali now. Doumbouya. Dodot. Koulibaly came a long way to collect that. Higashiguchi is first to the cross. Everything seemed to change in this game when France got their goal. Japan looked fairly comfortable at that point. France have certainly improved since taking the lead, and we've seen a much more even contest in the latter part of this first half. Two big chances not taken since the opening goal. One for each side. Yusashima. Shinkawa. Moto was in some space, but Sissoko got back. Higashiguchi. Nakano takes over and finds Shima. Higasaguchi's heavy touch gave El Jamali the opportunity to win back possession for the French. Not that it lasted long. Higasaguchi again. Shima. France with plenty of players back behind the ball. Shinkawa's made a little bit of space here, but the French defending in numbers. And Captain Cabral was the one who cleared that one. Sasaki's throw. That was not really what Japan needed. The pressure was just starting to build on the French there. Good interception by Nakano. Japan straight back into possession. Quite a battle in that midfield at the moment. Tackles flying in from both sets of players. And now Japan have won it on the edge of the box with Shinkawa. No way through for Nakayama. Messi Tamfuri on the far side, taking on all comers and winning the throw. Cabral. Mustafa Sissoko, helped out by El Jamali. France just trying to take it easy up to half-time, I think. Tuamo's ball. Sali furthest forward and struggling to make anything of it. Shima. Both sets of players starting to show a spot of tiredness with half-time approaching. Shohei Sasaki finding Higasaguchi. Matsuoka. Shima. Japan determined not to force it. They will keep playing their short passing game and look for the opportunity to present itself. And it has been given away here. And now El Jamali brings it forward for France. Cabral furthest forward. More good goalkeeping by Noguchi Pinto. He made sure he got plenty on the ball. And for the latter part of this first half, France have been content to try and play on the break. And they have caught the Japanese on a couple of occasions. Only for Noguchi Pinto to be a reliable last line of defence for Japan. Nakayama unable to bring it down. He and Higasaguchi have switched wings in an attempt to create something at the end of this first half. Shinkawa, Japanese throw. 2 minutes left in normal time here, and we'll have a minimum of a couple more. Higasiguchi. Sasaki, did he keep it on? He did not. Dodo. Amadou Doumbouya. Somewhat languid pass, that one, and intercepted by Matsuoka. A better touch from Nakayama, and Japan might have been in there. It's just in that 18-yard box and on the edges of it that Japan have got to sharpen up. They seem to lose composure when they see the whites of the posts. And now France with Baraji. And over the top from Kanabiek. He'll be disappointed with that. That was a presentable chance. And there haven't been many of those for Enzo Kanabiek in this first half. That counter-attacking strategy working well for France in the latter part of the first half. They've had 2 or 3 opportunities to double their lead after mistakes from Japan. But for now, the game very much in the balance, with only 1 goal between the two teams. Into stoppage time we go, minimum of 2 minutes of it. Higasiguchi. There is still time for Japan to level things up before the break. Sasaki. Felt he was shoved as he delivered the cross, but nobody else did. And that may well be Japan's last chance to grab an equaliser before the break. As this game started, Isaac Duamo in goal for France was a busy man. But the longer the game has gone on, the more he has become a mere spectator. Oishi will challenge for this one, but Doumbouya came away with it for France, who look like they will take the lead into the interval here. Doumbouya's long ball, Kanabiek brought that down nicely. Koulibaly. Sissoko. Baraji. If they want a goal, it's got to go into the box now. There is the half-time whistle. France lead at the break, thanks to a Joel Koulibaly goal. It came somewhat against the run of play, but since then, France have had further chances to extend their lead. Japan, for their part, will be disappointed not to make better of 1 or 2 very presentable opportunities for an equaliser. At half-time here, it's France with 1 foot on the podium. They lead Japan at half-time by 1-0.
The score is France 1, Japan 0. We would like to remind you that a no smoking policy is in operation at the UEFA Friendship Cup 2025. Any person using tobacco or e-cigarette products inside the stadium ball will be asked to stop immediately. Thank you for respecting the no smoking policy and enjoy the game. If the score is level at the end of normal play time, the winner will be determined by penalty shootouts. No extra time will be paid. À la mi-temps, le score est de France 1, Japon 0. Nous voulons vous rappeler qu'une interdiction de fumer est appliquée lors de l'UEFA Friendship Cup 2025. Toute personne surprise en train de fumer du tabac ou une cigarette électronique dans l'enceinte du stade sera priée de cesser immédiatement. Nous vous remercions de bien vouloir respecter l'interdiction de fumer. Si les deux équipes sont à égalité à la fin du temps réglementaire, le vainqueur sera déterminé par une séance de tir au but. Il n'y aura donc pas de prolongation.
Welcome back to the Colivray Sports Centre. And we are halfway through the 3rd-4th place playoff between France and Japan. France lead this one by a single goal, scored by Joel Koulibaly midway through the first half. That goal came against the run of play at the time, and it certainly seemed to bring about France's best spell of the match. The latter part of the first half was a much tighter affair, and though Japan did waste a good opportunity for an equalising goal, France had their chances too to put daylight between themselves and the Samurai Blue. Both sides have opted to make changes at the break. 3 for Japan, 2 for France. Ilyas Salhi and Adama Baraji have been brought off for France. Junior Ake and Lucas Rosier are the men to come on. For Japan, it's a new front line with Ritsu Onishi replacing Shuto Oishi, Kyo Tanaka, another impressive forward player, and Naoya Wada, who scored an absolutely sensational goal against Uruguay at the weekend. Shio Nakayama and Aitara Higashiguchi are the other players to lead the game at this stage. All of the subs just being told by the referee that they're going to have to officially come on from the sidelines, as you can see. Just a little bit of housekeeping. Onishi, Wada and Tanaka have all scored goals during this tournament. And it is goals that Japan need in the second half here if they are to fight their way to a bronze medal at the 2025 UEFA Friendship Cup. Joel Koulibaly goal separates these two teams as we go into the concluding half of the game here. And indeed the last 45 minutes that either of these two sides will play. Overall the tournament has been a success for them, but you'd rather be on the podium than off it. And it is France that are looking like being in that fortunate position, unless Japan can turn things around in this second half. First touch for Ake. Japan have rediscovered their pressing game, it seems. Free kick to France, who are four-time UEFA champions at under 18 level, although they haven't won such a title in 25 years. Doumbouya, Tudot under pressure and losing out. Opportunity for Japan here with Tanaka. Onishi is in the middle. Shinkawa's there too, and the final shot from Yamamoto. There's another one of those that Japan wish they could have again. Got to work on their ruthlessness 18 yards out, Japan. Because they do create the chances, they just don't take them. Confirmation of the Japanese changes coming up on your screen now. The Wada's magnificent goal against Uruguay is well worth digging out if you hadn't seen it. Spectacular strike right into the top corner, as Japan finally gave themselves some breathing space against the South Americans, who they were always vastly superior to. Final day of competition here in Nyon. Later on, Portugal and the USA will go head-to-head for the gold medal. It was the men's team from Mali that won the first UEFA Friendship Cup this time last year. Portugal and the USA will look to give us our second winners later. Cabral. He and Koulibaly on the ball here have been two very impressive performers for the French today. There had been the occasional error in defence from Les Bleus, or Les Bleuettes, I should say. Overall, France have dealt with Japan fairly well. More danger here for Sissoko to deal with. He's got help from El Jamali. And Rossier coming back too. Doumbouya under pressure. Koulibaly. Messi Tamfouri with space to run into. He'll need some help. Koulibaly arriving. And the angle was not good for the pass. Messi Tamfouri. Japan with enough players back, but then sloppily given away by Nakatsumi. They were a touch fortunate that France couldn't take advantage of that. Started well in this particular game, Japan, but they've never quite hit top gear. Not since, certainly not since the French took the lead midway through the first half. Sasaki. Yamamoto, that was a good turn, but once again Koulibaly was showing his strength. The referee felt he was showing too much of it that time. Free kick to Japan. Matsuoka. Back to Haruta Nakano. Yusashima. No Kubo in the Japanese defence today. He's on the bench. And in the two Japanese games I saw him playing in the group stage, he really was the star man of the back four. Japan have themselves a corner here. And Nakano has come forward. The corner has already been taken. Nakatsumi. Well, they made a bit of a mess of that, Japan. Had an opportunity to get bodies in the box, and it was never taken. Clever little chest pass from Tanaka. Japan finding it difficult to make any kind of inroads on this very, very muscular French defence. Doumbouya. Given away. Messi Tamfouri finding Ake. Cabral. Nakano. Finding Toshio Matsuoka. Longer ball that time. Well watched by Dumbuya. Neither side really creating much in the opening 10 minutes of the second half here. Although ever since their goal, the French have been fairly comfortable in terms of their approach to the game. They're going to sit relatively deep and wait for the opportunities to present themselves. Always trying to tempt the Japanese onto them, the French, and it's working a treat so far. Koulibaly. Messi Tamfuri caught in possession, but doing enough to win it back. Rosier with Sissoko ahead of him. Here is Mustafa Sissoko. Early cross from him, but Kanabia couldn't get his head on it. Mustafa Sissoko continues to get forward well from his right back position. But in the centre forwards role, Enzo Kanabia has had very little service so far. That's going to be a free kick to Japan. Koulibaly in trouble with the referee. Koulibaly has been the standout figure for me in the French midfield. He's got real bite about him. Gives them a real competitive edge, and he's very strong on the ball as well. And of course, he's the man who's got the only goal so far. Japanese free kick with 10 minutes gone in the second half. It's not been their best performance so far since the break, Japan. Yamamoto lifts it goalwards. Once again, there's a French shirt in the way. And Sissoko should bring this away. Oh, he's giving it away. And Japan will look to create something, but it's such a crowded penalty area. Japan trying to work their way around the edges. Cross did eventually come in, but Dodot found it easy to clear. A bit of a tussle now with Kanabiak. Has had to do a lot of work up there on his own, the centre forward, who has recently signed for Manchester United. We haven't really been able to see what he can do. He's been isolated for a lot of the game. Another Japanese free kick here after Axel Dodot brought down his opponent. Shun Shinkawa that was just a touch too quick for him, and it's another good position from which Japan to threaten from the set piece here. Shima and Nakano have come forward. They mustn't waste the opportunity this time, the Japanese, like they did from that corner a few moments ago. Sasaki is up there too. Three big men from defence, all in and around the far post here. It's the outswinger, and it's nowhere near accurate enough. fairly uneventful second half so far here in Nyon. The overall situation very agreeable for the French, who have certainly come under no real pressure since the restart. But now there's an opportunity for the Japanese. It's not well taken by Onishi. Hit the target, but really was a comfortable stop from Duamo. A collision between two Japanese defenders here. Nakano and Matsuoka, I think. At the hour mark approaching, and there will be more changes on the way soon, I'm sure. Japan may have to make those changes sooner than they would like, because he's still got a problem down there, Matsuoka. It's probably just an impact injury. Seemed to collide with his own skipper, Haruto Nakano. Both men being put under pressure by Kanabiek. Not sure if my eyes are deceiving me here, but I think he might be holding his arm. The Japanese are going to take the opportunity to make changes, and it looks like Matsuoka is going to be withdrawn. Ryo Senda, the obvious candidate to come on at fullback. I think Naru Nakutsumi is about to be replaced too by Haruto Nakano. And there will be a change for France too, as the captain, Pap Cabral, is withdrawn. Robinho Vaz coming on for France in place of Kanabiek, I think, rather than Cabral. Oh no, Cabral's been replaced by Gajibeku, my mistake.
3 substitutions for Japan. Number 16 is being replaced by number 13, and number 18 is being replaced by number 2.
Daryl Bakula is also going to come on for France. Rayan Messitan-Fouri, the man to make way. So 5 changes now for the French, likewise for the Japanese. Nakano immediately involved, but unable to do anything with it for the Japanese. Up to 9 changes allowed for both teams in this tournament, and encouraged, as the ethos of the Friendship Cup is for as many players to get as much game time as possible. But the enormous numbers of changes certainly does affect the pattern of play in the games, or the ones that we've seen anyway. There's only 3 windows with which to make those substitutions, so it does mean that they tend to be double or triple changes, and when you've got multiple players joining the game at the same time, can be a little bit difficult to hit the ground running. Oh, Nishi trying to get on the end of this one, but Duamo well placed. Some suggestion of a back pass there, but nothing given. Tejibeku in trouble. Sasaki trying to find a way through with Nakano. France have kept the door very securely shut in this second half, but Japan have a corner here. Axel Dodot getting in the way of Tanaka. They haven't made the best use of these set pieces so far, Japan. And with precious little being created in open play, you do feel they need to make more of these corners. Not the best of deliveries, a slip by Wada as he tried to tee up a teammate. And it's not over for Japan. Another corner coming up. Probably the last action before the second half cooling break. In the first half, that was the cue for the goal. There's a short one from the Japanese, which again comes to nothing in the end. Sissoko playing down the left now, although I think that was largely to do with his positioning at the corner. Seems to be retreating back to his natural habitat on the right now. There were a couple of little slips defensively in the first half from France, but ever since then they've been watertight at the back. But now Nishi has it for Japan. And the goal kick was eventually awarded to the French there. Did always look like Tanaka took it out of play. And the assistant referee eventually confirmed it. Japan's under-19s were playing in Europe last summer at the Maurice Ravello tournament in Toulon. They finished 5th in that one. They had the tournament top scorer in their ranks, Kento Shiogai. It has been the absence of a regular goal scorer here in Nyon that's really cost them in games. And it continues to be a problem here. Awkward effort and tipped away, I think, by Duamo. It will be a corner. Takato Yamamoto with a shot. And it had to be dealt with by the French goalkeeper. Chance out of nothing, really. The Japanese enjoying plenty more territorial advantage in this second half, but no real chances are accruing from it. Can they turn possession into goals here? Another disappointing corner. "22 minutes left in the 90 as another Japanese cross falls kindly for France. And at the other end, Les Bleus could be in here. It's Bacola. Oh, what a finish. How about that from Daryl Bacola?
Goal for France, scored by player number 11.
France lead by 2 with 69 minutes on the clock. And they have almost got their hands on the bronze medal now. Rather like France's opening goal, it came after an extended spell of Japanese pressure and just before a cooling break. Well, you can't fault their timing, France, can you? In both halves, soaking up the pressure, doing the damage on the break, and then immediately being able to celebrate with a drink. Going to be very, very difficult for Japan now. And in a way, the Japanese have learned a very big lesson here, and it's about taking your chances. France have been absolutely ruthless when it comes to making the most of their best moments of the game. And it's given them what is looking like an unassailable advantage here in the race for third place at the Friendship Cup. That goal from Daryl Bacola might even have been his first touch of the ball. Struggling to remember an involvement from the substitute before he found the corner so sweetly. 20 minutes left in normal time. And Japan find themselves chasing a 2-goal deficit. That's a new experience for them at this year's tournament. Never been more than a goal behind. I think we have to, although we've been mentioning just how ruthless France have been going forward, it is the organisation of their defensive unit which has given the team the platform to go on to win this game, absorbing all of the Japanese pressure and taking the chances on the counter-attack. You can't do that unless you're capable of keeping clean sheets. And this French team looks like it is. Here's Bacola again. Vaz, scorer of the goal against Argentina at the weekend. Karuta Nakano with a dose of cramp. Been a testing time for a lot of these players. Fourth game in just over a week today. And though we are talking about teenagers, it still takes its toll. Sissoko with the restart for France. Rossier. French throw. Last year the French under-19s were runners-up in their European Championship. and have reached at least the semi-finals 6 times in the last 10 years. Another change for Japan as Haruta Nakano is unable to continue. Harumo Kubo is the obvious choice to replace him at the heart of that defence. Senda losing out to Bakula. Throw not quite taken from the right place. And now that change is going to be made with Kubo replacing Nakano.
Substitution for Japan, number 5 is being replaced by number 4. Remplacement pour l'équipe du Japon, le numéro 5 est sorti et le numéro 4.
Kubo, one of the younger players in the Japanese squad, is only just turning 18. Still plays high school football in Japan, as many of these young lads do. Now France with plenty of options here as Rosier gets to the goal line and cuts it back. Very important touch there by Shima. Still not clear. Sissoko trying to force his way through. France fancy further goals here. And you do feel that the second French goal has dented the Japanese confidence rather badly. Rosier, Sissoko driving one in towards Vaz. Rosier. Bakula all the way back to Duamo, has had very little to do since the opening stages of the game. There was one long-range effort in this second half that he had to tip away, but regulation stuff really. France haven't been exceptional. They haven't had to be. They're a very well organised unit, particularly defensively. And they've had a game plan that has worked a treat. Now Vaz striking one, but finding the side netting via the goalkeeper's left boot. So it will be a French corner. In addition to being very well organised defensively and having the right game plan, France have also had far more to offer in the final third than Japan. And you wouldn't be surprised if France did add to their current tally of 2 goals. Not this time though. Koulibaly. Very strong candidate for player of the match. Sissoko, he's had a good game too. Awkward clearance leads to another French corner. 4 blue shirts queuing up at the back stick, with Daryl Bakala also showing an interest. Long-range effort was by Gajibeku, and there will now be the last couple of Japanese substitutions. Tawa Osada and Tashi Ukibe will join the game. Shoei Sasaki and Takato Yamamoto have played their last. Ukibe is the man that will slot into the defensive role. Osada is more of a midfielder.
2 substitutions for Japan. Number 7 is being replaced by number 10, and number 3 is being replaced by...
It's going to take something very dramatic indeed now for Japan to make a game of this. It's been a long while since we've seen their best work. It all came in the opening quarter of the game, and the substitutions in the second half haven't really helped them. Similar pattern of play in both halves, where Japanese possession failed to translate into goal-scoring chances, and they were hit by the French sucker punch midway through both halves. Vaz. Free kick to France. Been that little bit stronger than Japan in this game. Makes a big difference, that, when it comes to the individual duels. Vaz. Gajibeku. Now Junior Ake, who joined the game at half-time. We're into the last 10 minutes of the 90 now. Starting to look like mission accomplished for the French. Dumbuya. Bakula to Gajibeku. And there's one for Aki to get after. He's around the goalkeeper and goes down, and the referee says penalty. Amato Noguchi Pinto tempted off his line. Couldn't resist. Didn't get the ball. So it will be an opportunity for France to score goal number 3 here. Robinho Vaz has placed the ball. Scored against Argentina last time. Can he get his second goal of the tournament here and wrap things up for the French? It's Vaz. It's 3-0. And that confirms their place on the podium. Robinho Vaz successful from the spot, and France now all set to collect the bronze medal at the 2025 UEFA Friendship Cup. They will become the 3rd European medalist in the men's competition since this competition started last year, following in the footsteps of Slovakia and Turkey. And although the scoreline is a little harsh on Japan, France are very deserving winners of this particular game. We saw very little evidence of a Japanese comeback in the second half. If anything, today has been perhaps their most disappointing performance of the tournament. They showed great guts to come back against Portugal and beat them in the shootout. They played some superb football at times against Senegal, even though they didn't actually win the game. played Uruguay off the park, but they've been bettered today by the French, who in the end have won this with something to spare. Rosier. This tournament, of course, far more than a football competition. It's designed to be something of a cultural exchange for its young participants, promoting their own personal development on and off the pitch. For many of them, it's the first chance not only of playing international tournament football, but also against players of a different culture and language. And all these players will come together again after the medal ceremony. Good save by Duamo as Japan, through Kiyo Tanaka, threaten a consolation goal. Foul throw given, that's a rarity these days. Earlier on today, Australia beat Uruguay by 4-1 to clinch 7th place in the overall table here. Senegal beat Argentina fairly comfortably to finish 5th. We now know the identity of our 4th and 3rd place finishers. It just remains for Portugal and the United States to play the gold medal match later on today. That should be quite some game. USA favourites. They have been a very impressive side here in Nyon. Sissoko. El Jamali. Trying to find a way through. Took 3 defenders to stop him. Onishi. The 3 French central defenders have been excellent today. Dudot and Doumbouya in particular. Bit of room here for Wada. Onishi and Tanaka were hopeful of an earlier pass than that. And in the end, it's given away rather cheaply. Just wonder if the Japanese players have just run out of steam a little bit today in this 4th match in just over a week. Theirs is a very energetic way of playing. We saw it in the opening 10 minutes or so of the game. A really intense pressing game they like to bring to this particular tournament, and trying to do that 4 times in 8 days, not easy. Bakala, whose brilliant finish really nudged the game decisively towards France. Penalty by Rubinho Vaz on the 82nd minute mark, really just a final insult after a mistake by goalkeeper Noguchi Pinto. 2 minutes left in the 90 here. And I think both sets of players are pretty fatigued. Mustafa Sissoko is the player hurt, I think, over on the far side. I think that France have one more change they can make. And it may be that Sissoko opts to limp on for the remainder here. France were by no means guaranteed to get into this bronze medal match. They had to really battle to ensure that they got the draw with Argentina, just to edge them out of contention. But they're pleased they did so now. All of the members of this young French squad will get a medal to go into their collection, and that's never a bad thing. Well, I'm not sure, but I think that France are going to finish with 10 men here. I didn't see a substitution being made there. And I'm pretty sure that somebody just hobbled off. I think it was Sissoko. He was certainly the man having treatment as we go into stoppage time here. Will be a minimum of 3 minutes. And it'll be a very long 3 minutes for Japan, you suspect. Because it's all over for them, has been for a while. Now, chance for Osada. Wasn't the worst cross, but safety in numbers for the French, who continue to defend extremely well. Now Rosier has tricked his way past Kubo. Could this be a fourth and final goal for the French? That's a pity for Lucas Rosier. Just lost his footing. France have made a changing goal, incidentally. Ayube Akabu has come on. That's slightly unusual, being that he's playing outfield by the looks of it. And they decided they didn't want to end with 10 men after all, the French. Akabu has got the number 17 shirt on, formerly belonging to Kanabiik. Looks like he's playing down the right-hand side. Osada out to Nakano. Last chance for Japan, but really nothing has gone right for them in an attacking sense here. Certainly not in the second half, and not for a great proportion of the first half either. We've not seen them at their best. France, on the other hand, have given a very accomplished performance. Organised and steadfast in defence and ruthless in attack, and it is that combination that gets them on the podium. 3 goals to the good against Japan. That'll be good enough for the bronze medal. France clinch 3rd place at the UEFA Friendship Cup. The final score here in Nyon: France 3, Japan 0.
Félicitations à l'équipe de France. Le score final est France 3, Japon 0. Merci aux deux équipes. Nous vous rappelons qu'il est strictement interdit de pénétrer sur le terrain de jeu à quelque moment que ce soit. Merci. Ladies and gentlemen, these athletes reminded us of what soccer really stands for: fair play, respect, and a unique ability to bring people together and across borders. Mesdames et messieurs, ces athlètes nous ont rappelé ce que le football représente vraiment: le fair play, le respect et une capacité unique à rassembler les gens au-delà des frontières. We now invite you to give a very warm round of applause to Japan, who will receive their medals, a symbol of their remarkable achievements and exemplary sportsmanship. invite you to give a very warm round of applause to France, who will receive their medals, a symbol of their remarkable achievements and exemplary sportsmanship. Nous vous invitons maintenant à applaudir l'équipe de France qui recevra sa médaille, symbole de leur remarque, réussite et de leur esprit sportif. Félicitations pour la 3e place.
Turn around, my knees.